Working Interferences is intended for mature audiences. Since the hosts never grew up, someone needs to be the adult. Welcome to Working Interferences with Josh and Lance, the dental advice podcast for the average dentist. Here is Josh and Lance.
Bros, what is up? Welcome to the Working Interferences podcast, a dental advice show. I'm Josh Waston.
And I am Lance Timmerman.
Lance, I heard you're moving.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
I never ever I never want to move again.
You know, a year ago I said the same thing, and then we changed our mind. Yeah, we had we known COVID was going to do what it did, we wouldn't have moved where we moved to a year ago. And so within a few months, we're like, shit, we should have moved further.
I don't understand what that means.
So we sold the house a year ago, and Bianca still had to finish high school, so we didn't want to move too far away. But then they shut down the school anyway, and we're like, well, we didn't need to stay nearby. We could have gone.
That makes sense.
So we only signed a 6-month lease. 6 months were up in September, but then she started an esthetician program, and so we're like, well, let's just sign the lease and to renew 6 more months, and then she'll be done with her program right around that time, and we'll move then. And now, you know, in hindsight, we're actually going to be moving like a 3-minute commute to the office.
Okay.
It'll be actually really close to the airport. We travel all the time, so it's closer to downtown, closer to my folks as they decline. So
Jesus. It's dark.
Oh, how else do I say it?
I don't think that's the best way to say that. As they reach their wonder years, I think is maybe a lighter way to say that.
Okay, I'll edit this. Let me or not.
Yeah.
I
doubt they listen, so we're probably.
Oh yeah, trust me. Even if they did, they won't remember. So that dementia is a bitch.
Wow.
Did you ever see Memento?
I have. Yeah.
It's my mom right now. So it's
Jesus. So you're moving.
So I'm moving. So we decided a couple days ago, and it all just worked out. Like, oh, we're packing and we're gonna move next week. So we're basically we have 7 days to get our shit.
I would pay thousands of dollars. Like if next time I have to move, I'm just writing a check.
Oh yeah, we're hiring movers. So we're really
No, not just movers. Pack shit for me, unpack shit for me.
Yeah,
set up shit, hang stuff on the wall, all that shit. I don't want to do it.
Well, the good thing is we went from a stupid sized house to a small apartment. Well, it's a pretty decent sized apartment, about 1,400 square feet, vaulted ceilings. It doesn't feel like an apartment. But we already threw away a shit ton of stuff, so it actually won't be that hard to do next week. We're still hiring movers for them to carry everything. My back is still a piece of shit, so it'll be nicer. We're going to be right across the street from the beach. A beach in Seattle just means we can see the lake and the grass that's adjacent to it. We don't have sandy beaches,
right?
So it's going to be definitely an upgrade.
Good.
Yeah.
I watched the Snyder Cut.
Oh yeah,
it's actually good.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's actually way better. Yeah, it's actually worth the 4 hours.
I don't know. Quinn Snyder just never seemed like he was going to be. So it's 4 hours. Okay.
4 hour deal. It's actually way better than the 2 hour version. I was mistaken. I was wrong. I got to come on here and say it.
Okay.
Got to come on here and say it. So today I was on the bike and I had.
For 4 hours?
No. So I'm on a second viewing because a podcast I really like called The Watch did commentary of it.
Okay.
And so where they you're supposed to hit play when they hit play.
Oh.
And then they just talk about it. So the podcast is 4 hours and 2 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
And so I had it up on my iPad, and then
Is it like Wizard of Oz, where they say played Wizard
sort
of Oz?
of, yeah.
Time
you can,
as
Pink Floyd.
Pink,
yeah. Same kind of thing.
All right.
So I had it on the iPad. I'm on the bike. I had it on the iPad, and then I had my AirPods in, playing the podcast while I had the movie playing on my iPad. And I walk out of the office where the bike is, and Andrea's just shaking her head at me. She's like, what are you doing? And I told her, and she just rolled her eyes as much as she's ever rolled them before, and just turned around and walked away. Yeah. So that was great. It's a good thing we're married.
For now.
But she did score major white points today. So she went to the store. So I don't know if I've ever talked about it, but I'm an aficionado sommelier of diet soda. I don't know if we've ever talked about
briefly.
My proclivity for
touched
diet soda.
on it. We've touched on it. Okay.
I love it. It's just, I love diet soda. I love all shapes and sizes. And one of the hard hitting parts of COVID has been, there's been an aluminum can shortage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so all the brands are basically focusing on their flagship products. So they're using their aluminum towards their flagship products. And so any of the sort of accoutrement flavors are not being produced either at all or in very, very, very small quantities. And so
I see.
My previous favorite pre-COVID was Diet Cherry Dr. Pepper. It's I've been known to call that the elixir of life.
Okay, I think you've mentioned that on the show.
Unbelievable! It's so good. Can't find it anywhere. Can't find it. I haven't been able to find it for over a year. She sends me a text today, and she found this at the store.
Oh my!
Dr. Pepper Cherry Zero
sugar,
which is a new product. And so she bought 6 12-packs of these bad boys, and they are very nice.
Yes, these are very nice.
Oh, it's so good. The cherry's perfect. It's unbelievable.
Okay. All right.
So I'm absolutely stoked. They also had, and she bought a few 12-packs of Dr. Pepper Cream Soda Zero Sugar. So it's sort of a vanilla-y, a vanilla Dr. Pepper twist.
All right.
On the idea of it. So yeah. So it's just it's the Roaring 20s again. We got some diet soda. We got diet soda game going on right now, and I'm super stoked about it.
So within about a half hour after we're done, you'll find you passed out.
I'll have 3 more of these. Yeah, for sure. I'll be up. I'm going to drink a couple more of these probably, and then I'm going to be up every couple hours peeing throughout the night. So it's fun. It's worth it because I haven't. Because I haven't had one of these in over a year, and it tastes so good when it hits your lips, Lance.
Gotcha.
It tastes so good.
You ever have it where it just kind of dribbles down the corner, down to your
chin? But then I take my finger and get it on my finger and then lick my finger because I can't let a drop of it go to waste.
All right.
I'm going to a Spurs game tomorrow. First live sporting event. Yeah. So I got a call from my from a friend of mine who's my banker. And said, "Hey, I've got the bank suite on Monday night. You want to go?" And so I figure that's about as safe as it can get.
And that's about sweet an automatic yes. I mean,
so we'll see how it is. I don't know. I mean, it's there. I think at 25% attendance. Suites are different because you're kind of automatically spaced out in the suites. Okay. So I think down in the gin pop of the of the stadium. I think they're at 25% attendance. So it'll be my first live sporting event.
Wow.
Since sometime last year. I don't even remember what it was. So I'm kind of excited to see what it's like in a stadium.
I'm jealous. That sounds fantastic.
So you could go to a Mariners game. Opening day is this coming week. And I saw on The Athletic, they had a listing of, and let me see if I can pull it up, all of the attendance regulations for Major League Baseball teams. And so I looked through them all because I do know that the Texas Rangers are the only club that's at 100% attendance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Rangers are just so opening day is Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. I can't remember which one.
I think it's Thursday.
Okay, and they are just full all out, 100% open. No, it's maskless required, and there's no commandment. There's no requirement for vaccine or anything like that. But they're full out 40% or 440,000 people, 100% 40,000 people. But I saw the Mariners were open, so the Mariners are open at 18.9%. So max of 9,000
0.7 is just right out.
No, 18.7 is not enough, but 19% is can't do that either. 18.9 is that's the magic number.
That magic number.
18.9. It's the magic number. And they are selling single game tickets, so not every team is doing that. Some of them are sort of season ticket only, and whatnot. But they're not the lowest. The Nationals are 12%, 12.1.
Oh, wow.
Red Sox are 12%.
Wow.
Let me see if anybody's lower than that.
How did they come up with these numbers?
I'm assuming that it has to do. I'm assuming that somebody from public health for the city or the county comes and looks at the way the stadium is laid out and sort of it looks at does a radius of 3 feet on each side of seats and has some sort of computer formula that figures out how many they can let in.
That just seems ridiculous. It should be 10%, 20%, 25%.
The Blue Jays are at 15%.
See, that seems like a roundish number. That makes a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what makes me think it's got to be computer generated based on the layout of the stadium.
All right.
That's the only way you get to 18.9%. That's literally the only way. Most teams are
that peyote. I mean,
or ayahuasca. Yeah.
That's right.
We just chugged some ayahuasca.
Yeah, the bucket of vomits over there. Tell me what number it looks like.
Yeah. So Angels are 20%.
Like tea leaves.
That's an easy number.
Yeah.
Astros are up to 50, so that's kind of an easy number. Athletics are 20, Blue Jays are 15, Braves are 33, but that's easy. That's a third. Brewers 25, Cardinals 32. That's kind of close enough to the third.
Right.
Cubs 20, Diamondbacks 25, Dodgers 20, Giants 20, Indians 30, Mariners 18.9. Like it's got to be computer generated. It just has to be.
All right.
Marlins 25, Mets 20, Nats 12.1. Again, it has to be computer generated based on the layout of the stadium. Orioles 25, Padres 20, Phillies 20, Pirates 25, Rangers 100. Rays are 36, another weird one. Red Sox 12, Reds 30, Rockies 42.6. Again, got to be just computer generated.
That's a Rocky Mountain high right there.
Yeah. 30 at the Royals. Tigers are 20, Twins are 25.9. Red Sox are White Sox are 20, Yankees are 20. So, you could go see the Mariners, Lance, starting next week.
I just might. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to move, so I guess I won't.
Well, after that, you could go the week after.
Yeah.
I mean, like at some point, Andrew and I talked about it, and we were talking about like opening day, and I think I wouldn't be opposed. We're both vaccinated. We're fully immune. It's fine. Or I don't know. Is immune is the right word? Whatever.
Right.
We're fully protected. Vaccine protected.
Sure.
It's just like that first time at 40,000. Like I want to kind of like see how it plays out before see how it goes. And maybe like the second month of the season, like maybe in May we'll go.
Yeah.
So, but I'm ready to see sports in person again. I'm ready to be in a stadium. There obviously will be a difference from being at the Spurs game where it's 25% capacity tomorrow versus going to a Rangers game on Thursday where it's full out 100% capacity, 40,000 people. And they'll have 40,000 people there. They will have 40,000. What's the exact number? 40,300 is the number of seats there, and it will be the first time that anybody's been able to step foot in that stadium, even though it opened last year.
Wow.
So they'll fill it. It'll be totally full. So let's see how it goes before we rent you out there. But yeah, I mean, just like it'd be cool to go to a Mariners game. It's just it's back for sure. Some semblance of normalcy.
That's the plan.
And think about it, Lance. If you're one of what was it, 18.9? 18.9%. That has to sort of exponentially raise your chances of getting a foul ball. I'm not saying it makes it likely you get a foul ball, but when the stadium is only 18.9% full, it makes it a better chance that you get one.
This is true. This is true.
It's worth looking at, buddy. I'm just saying. Right. Up there, I'd consider it
for sure.
Lance's Citizen Advice Show.
Maybe this time.
We answer your questions. We answer questions we find in all those neat little dental Facebook groups. We answer questions from Reddit. We strive to help dentists and dental team members learn a unique brand of advice. So please, we need your questions there, the sustenance we crave. You can submit your questions to workinginterferences@gmail.com. Now, we don't want just any question, do we, Lance?
Oh, fuck no.
We don't want a bunch of boring questions like, what's the best soda ever? Because we all know that Squirt is the greatest soda of all time.
Diet Squirt.
But the questions that Gordon Christensen cannot answer. I have an interesting question about soda before we get started.
Oh?
Is soda hot drink for Gordon? Can Gordon drink soda?
Yeah, that is a debatable question amongst the faith, but it's generally accepted as it's not a hot drink. You can go ahead and have some soda. Okay,
so I have a friend who's an endodontist, and we went out to lunch one time at this place called Neaters, and it's not far from the temple town. Neuters, yeah.
No,
not like bread kneaders, you know.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. Mm-hmm.
And it's not far. It's kind of down the street from the temple. And he was like, "This is a Mormon-owned place." I was like, "How do you know? Is it because it's by the temple?" He's like, "No, because they have caffeine-free Diet Coke on tap in the soda machine."
Yep.
He's like, "That's like a sure-ass sign right there that this is a Mormon-owned establishment."
Pretty telltale, yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, that is weird. Like, it's not one that you commonly see in the lineup of Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, Squirt, water, lemonade, maybe root beer." This was the instead of root beer or whatever, there was the diet caffeine-free Diet Coke or whatever.
Yeah, that's generally a telltale sign of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You think Gordon likes Squirt?
It's a pretty good chance.
So this is a question that I have not read yet, and you have not read it. This was sent to me by a listener of the show on Instagram. I don't know if I need to keep them on private or put them on blast. We're going to keep it on private. We're going to come up with a fake name for them. From listener Peruvian Eugenol, and Peruvian Eugenol asks, "I'm a younger male dentist, and I will help with hygiene on occasion, especially since our hygienists are backed up thanks to COVID. Even when my hygienists are available, there are a few female patients that still request to book with me. One of whom is a butch cop, but that's a whole other story. She's awesome."
Okay.
"This one patient is a few years younger than me and is always booked with me. One of my front desks likes to tease me when this patient is coming in. I'm nothing to look at, and I'm pretty dense when it comes to getting hints from the opposite sex. Yes, Josh, she's fairly attractive, but among other ethical concerns, any attraction to patients takes a huge nosedive since I usually know their parents and siblings as well. Big nope. Also, I'm in a relationship. Midway through her last prophy, she asked if she could ask me a question. Red flag. I say, sure. I'm holding a mirror and scaler, frozen like a statue, waiting for the question. This pause is so pregnant that the OBGYN is wanting to induce labor." It's actually really good.
That is awesome.
Eventually, she says to herself, "Whatever, I'm just going to ask." She giggles. A normal one, not a creepy little girl one, you sick freak. "Can dentists tell if you've been..." Pause. It must have been 2 seconds, but it felt like she was dilating. I'm sorry. No, it says it felt like time was dilating.
Okay.
She finally says, "Can dentists tell if you've given a blowjob?" It was my turn for the pause. After a bit, I peered over the barrels of my loops and said a little nervously and 0% seductively, "Sometimes, I guess it depends on how forceful it is." After returning to the prophy, I made sure to steer the conversation back to her oral hygiene. purposely skipped most of the soft tissue exam. She has squamous somewhere in her mouth, and we missed it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Especially looking at her hard and soft palate. What would you have done? So put yourself in the shoes of a younger man, Lance.
Mm-hmm.
In a relationship, but I'm assuming single because he did not say married.
Right. I generally pretended to miss signals. So so if you let them know that you caught on, now you have to address it. If you pretend that it went over your head, you're just naive.
I mean, how can you pretend to let that one go over your head, Lance? That's a aforementioned Randy Johnson 95 mile an hour fastball at your head.
Hitting a
You're
pigeon.
going to duck and pretend that it didn't happen.
So, yeah, I would have played everything else up. But when they come straight out and say, can you tell? I probably just would have been, yeah, sometimes. And then continued on. How about those Mariners? And just ignored it.
Yeah, I'm sure she's a huge, what's that kid's name? Kyle
Lewis?
Yeah, the guy that won Rookie of the Year last year. I'm sure she's a huge Kyle Lewis fan. She's in the Kyle Lewis hive. Kyle Lewis hive unite.
Kyle Lewis, Carl Lewis. It's all any Lewis.
Are they related?
Cousins.
Are they really?
No.
Okay.
Actually, maybe. I don't think so, but.
You said you're notorious for missing signals, right?
No, claiming to
miss signals. So when I played baseball growing up, you always did this to show you got the signal, right? That was the always like you got the signal. So I can just imagine the coach doing like,
right. See that other signal that
and Lance is just spitting and grabbing his dick. Like, can you confirm that you got the fucking signal, Lance?
You just play it off like what? I don't understand. And then they just get frustrated and then never talk to you again.
Worse.
It ends up being worse. But let me just put it this way: I was really lonely.
So if that's the case, then I figured it'd been like, oh yeah, blowjobs. I know all about that. Let me tell you everything there is to know.
Yeah. Petechiae look like this.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have dwelled on it very long.
Yeah, you have to sort of pass it off quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't not answer it at that point. Because it's been the time delay, like all of that. It's too big of a deal now.
You either pass it off really quick or you really go into as much detail.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like, but that's the definition of steering into the fucking skid. And I feel like there's a chance that absolutely gets you in way more hot water.
Oh yeah. Pick your battles, and that one's going to get you. It can't end well. Let's put it that way.
I've never had somebody ask me this.
I haven't either. I haven't either. Wow.
Where do you think she heard this? This is. I don't feel like fucking Dateline's not doing an episode on this. So like, where do you even hear about this?
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is a close friend.
Yeah,
got caught.
Or she went on a date with like a dentist or a male hygienist or a male assistant, or she dated somebody or had a friend who was a hygienist, or she knew or had like happy hour or a drunken discussion with somebody who was in dental. Right. And said, "Did you know that dentists can tell?" But I've never. I don't know. I can't ever remember. Oh, yes, I had a patient named Leslie, and I remember seeing the palatal petechiae and thinking to myself, "Wow, here's a cocksucker." Like that, that's never happened. I can name 0 patients that I remember seeing palatal petechiae on, and I've never fucking documented it on a soft tissue exam. Despite at school, they would say you have to document everything. I'm not writing that shit down. I'm sorry.
Right.
Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Do you ever remember seeing it on a patient? So, yeah, we say that, yes, we can tell. Yeah, absolutely, blah, blah, blah. But, I'm sure I've had people in my chair that have had a dick in their mouth the night before.
Honestly,
I've not noticed.
I think a few years ago, I had a hygienist kind of say, and check out the palate. And then I picked up on it, saw it, ignored it, and moved on.
It's one time in a fucking 25-year career.
Exactly. That was the whole point. Was like, I'm not gonna. No, I'm just gonna look for caries, and that's good. That's it. See ya. I'm out.
So from like that lecture on like hard palate pathology and soft palate pathology,
right?
We had like torus palatinus in there, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
People are like, and they show pictures. People have like big fucking golf balls on the roof of their mouth, and I just wonder, like, how do those people eat like a Tootsie Roll pop or a blow pop?
Yeah.
Where do you put it?
Yeah, that wasn't my thought, but now that I'm thinking about it, yeah.
There used to be a product, and this isn't like anything I reviewed for DE or anything like that.
Okay.
There used to be a product called Velveteeth.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
and
unfamiliar.
It was like, you're unfamiliar?
I am unfamiliar with this product.
It was like a sports guard. And it was specifically made for oral sex. So it had like knobs and stuff on it.
Oh, I actually did see a product. So I think someone sent me a link a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, it was specifically, ribbed and dimpled. And
yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. And I haven't seen it in many moons.
Yeah.
But
yeah, someone sent it to me, and I was like, yeah, it probably works. And again, I didn't spend...
But I mean, it's like, here's the thing. It's like pizza.
Uh-huh.
Like, do we need any earth-shattering inventions for it? Like, no, it's great.
Not really.
It's great the way it is.
I mean, stuffed crust is kind of a big deal, but I don't always order stuffed crust. Most of the time, I don't.
It's like, it's gilding the lily, right? Like, stuffed crust comes out, and it's like, oh, this looks great, and then you get it, and you're like, eh.
Yeah, it's just extra cheese.
Yeah, it's like, whatever. I kind of like regular pizza just fine. Actually, I'm
still not going to eat the crust.
Pizza. And that's what you then continue to order forever is regular pizza. So it's like,
absolutely.
I don't need somebody to have some sort of prosthetic.
Nah.
For this.
Especially if they know what they're doing.
Yeah. And I feel like most people do.
Apparently.
I mean, I don't, right. I mean, I don't have like... I don't have volumes of experience, but I also don't have like volumes of bad experiences either. That's
a good point.
How would you address this? I think the way that he addressed it is best. Short, succinct, and head on. That's not what I meant to say. Short and succinct, but you can't avoid it because avoiding it makes a bigger deal. And you can't slip your name on a sticky note into her goodie bag afterwards. You can't do that.
No, that's a bad idea.
Can you, though, follow her on Instagram after that?
Oh, I think you should. Maybe a private account.
Or is this one that, like, if it's a public account, you don't follow it, you just go check it from time to time?
Yeah.
You think that's a bit... Because if you follow it, they get the alert that you followed it. And then I feel like that's the dance that starts, right?
Yeah. Then it can get awkward.
So I think he did the right thing.
I think so.
What would be the consequences from making a big deal out of it? One would be to make her think that you're more interested than you are, which is a problem. That's
the biggest.
I don't even think that's that's a bit. I'm not saying that's not a big problem. I don't think that's the biggest problem. If you made a big deal out of it, you could also really embarrass her to the point of humiliating her or feeling like humiliated. And then you lose a patient, which is a real bad fucking day. Because then when the owner doc, because I'm assuming if you're doing some of your own hygiene, that maybe you're not ownership in the practice. I don't know that for sure. So I could,
right.
Let's say you're an associate, then the owner's asking like, why is so-and-so transferring their records to another dentist? Oh, because she asked me about blowjobs and I made a real big fucking deal out of it.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
He then said, I did ask her what prompted her to ask. She said that a friend told her. Apparently there was a thing on TikTok about palatal petechiae and dentists being able to tell. I remember learning about it in dental school and have made 0 diagnoses purposely, which I think is everybody. Like, nobody's going to document that on their fucking soft tissue exam. Nobody's made a diagnosis of that. What's the diagnosis code?
Exactly. But it's kind of like that hygienist. It should be. But like the hygienist that flosses out a little curly.
Yeah.
You're not going to document that.
That's happened more than seeing palatal petechiae, by the way.
I think practice. So. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did the right thing. I think you addressed it, but and made it not a big deal, and then moved on. And that's the best possible thing you could do. Yeah, you don't want to make a big deal out of it. Makes it a problem, and two different, like the Robert Frost fork in the road of two different big problems comes up.
Exactly.
And ignoring it, I think, makes it even worse. That makes it even more awkward.
Yeah, it was definitely asked because the pause was as pregnant as it was. You can't just brush it off. You're going to have to at least answer it directly, which is like, yeah, sometimes.
Who got that pause pregnant?
That's right.
I think it was a rewind button. They're right next to each other.
Can you do a DNA test for that? Because
paternity test.
Yeah.
I think the solution to this is don't do hygiene anymore.
That's as good a reason to not do hygiene as any.
I remember. So when I opened my practice, actually, and so I this is after I just said that only an associate would be stuck doing hygiene. When I opened my own practice, I didn't start with the hygienist. So after, I don't know, 6 or 8 months or something like that, I added a hygienist like 1 day a week, and then added another day and another day and another day until, where I'm at now, which is too many fucking days of hygiene. And it's 3 hygienists a couple days a week and 2 hygienists others. But there was a point at which, like, I was still doing hygiene, and it was like the hygienist was there like 3 days a week, like it wasn't quite full time, it's just close. And still that other day, whoever was like doing my schedule at that time would put fucking prophies on that day. And I'd be like, Jeanette, fucking stop it, man. You got 3 other days to fill with prophies. And she'd be like, they wanted to come on Thursday or whatever. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, just it's one more prophy, and the next time they come in 6 months, we'll have Thursday hygiene filled, guaranteed. So just find them another fucking day. And I think I remember the last time I did a prophy, I like walked into her office and just threw the prophy instruments on the ground and was like, never fucking schedule me a prophy again. And that was it. I'm pretty sure I broke the scalers because I was just done with it. I was just done with it. It was fine at first. I'm just not very good at it.
No.
And I didn't like it. I just don't like it.
Yeah. That's as good a reason as any.
So I don't do endo. I just don't like it.
I got asked that the other day, and I'm like, yeah, I've got advanced training in it. Not my thing. I would rather not.
So I got an
endodontist. I got an endodontist that shares a parking lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, I keep him full.
Yeah.
He likes me.
That's why I don't drink squirt. I just don't like it. I don't like squirt. I don't like hygiene. I don't like doing hygiene.
Yeah.
I don't like caffeine-free diet sodas.
Makes sense.
I said we'd be 30 minutes tonight. We're at 33.
All right.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Well, I hope we helped you Peruvian eugenol. You think Peruvian eugenol is different than like regular eugenol?
I think it has less electrolytes.
You think so? I was thinking like maybe some shaman blessed it or something. Because I think Peru is where ayahuasca comes from, actually. Second ayahuasca mentioned this episode. So maybe it has some hallucinogenic properties.
It should.
Peruvian eugenol.
If it doesn't, it should.
I feel like if I got some Peruvian eugenol to put in a tooth, I would expect them to have some sort of mind-bending experience while they had that in there. For. Yeah, for sure. And then you could have a whole rash of people coming in who find out about it, like as some sort of treatment for depression.
It's a real practice builder.
Yeah. You know who Neil Brennan is? I've talked about Neil Brennan before.
Yeah.
Comedian. Staunch atheist.
Okay.
Until he did ayahuasca, and now he believes in God.
Really?
Yeah. He does ayahuasca a lot now. He does it like every weekend. But yeah, he believes in God now. And he still is like, I don't necessarily think it's like what, religious organizations refer to as God, but he's like, I went from thinking there was no higher power, that humans just happened, to believing there's, a design and a creator and caretaker of the universe is kind of is sort of the verbiage he uses.
Well, is there any as good a reason to try ayahuasca as any?
See, that's I don't want to believe anything like that. Like, I'm fine. I'm totally happy being an atheist.
You're like the opposite of the X-Files, where it says the poster says, "I want to believe."
I don't want to. I'm fine. I don't need to try ayahuasca, and I don't need to have an intense 2 to 4 hours of nausea and vomiting to start the trip.
Yeah,
that's what happens. You drink the ayahuasca, and then you have an intense 2 to 4 hours of nausea and vomiting, and then the trip starts and things are fine. But I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. I don't want that. I throw up a lot. You've heard a lot of my vomit stories on here.
I have.
And I just feel like we could fill, if I tried ayahuasca, we'd fill a whole fucking episode of me talking about throwing up. And
it would be a thing.
No one wants that. No one wants that.
Nobody.
Hey, are you into
vomit?
What is it? No, blowjob TikToks, or what was that? TikToks about soft tissue exams, whatever.
Sure.
It's a weird TikTok you're following. If so, you have any friends that are into friends. That? Yeah, tell them about the show. That's how we grow the show. One new blowjob TikTok user at a time. Is that even a thing? Can there be dirty TikToks? I don't even know. Never been on it. Never been on it. Shoot us a rating or a review. What's your favorite number?
Big fan of 5.
Love number 5. If you're, I don't know, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, for flicking through the Podbean, flick 5 stars. Hit us up on the web, workinterferences.com. Hit us up on all the social bullshits. Facebook, Working Interferences with Josh and Lance. Funny Ship for Dennis and Dental Team members. Twitter at Winter. Twitter at Winterferences. Instagram at Winterferences. Lance can be found on Instagram at Dr. Timmerman DMD. I can be found on Instagram at Joshua Austin DDS. Smash that follow button. Lance, tell me about your song that you've had selected for tonight.
So I was waxing nostalgic recently.
You were waxing your what?
I know. It wasn't as painful as you might think, but are you familiar with the band Shriekback?
No. No, I'm only 42.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it is a band from the 80s. Not Manchester, funny enough, but an area near London, Kentish Town, London. I remember really liking a song called Gunning for the Buddha.
As we were just talking about not believing in God. There we go. Gunning for the Buddha.
Gunning for the Buddha. Shriekback, circa 85, 86.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is kind of right in your... Is this their big hit?
No, I don't think so.
This is early college for you? High school? When is this?
High school.
High school? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not a big hit for them.
It was probably one of their bigger hits. But I don't know that they ever really had any hits.
So, sure do know how to pick them, Lance.
Yeah, I liked them. Their big album was I think 1988's Go Bang.
Okay.
But this came from 86's Big Night Music. So yeah. Gunning for the Buddha.
Fair enough. Well, enjoy Gunning for the Buddha, which is what I'm going to be doing on our new podcast about atheists who want to stay atheists. For Lance Timmerman, I'm Josh Austin. Peace. Stay fresh, cheesebags.
Got their equipment from a dwarf outside on a train. They make their moves and they head to the border. They don't care as long as you can pay whatever they say. We're on the road and we're gunning for the Buddha. We know his name and he mustn't get away. We're on the road and we're gunning for the Buddha. We would take one shot to blow him away. Tell you what, now's the time to have some big ideas. Now's the time to make some firm decisions. We saw the Buddha that part out of time, talking politics and nuclear fission. We see him and he's all washed up, moving on to the party of the people, getting ready for a long, long crawl. He ain't nothing. He ain't nothing at all. We're on the road and we're gunning for the Buddha. We know his name and he mustn't get away. We're on the road and we're gunning for the Buddha. Take a long shot to blow him away. Assassins, like an addict to the bus uptown. Deadly angels for reality and passion. Have the courage of the here and now. Don't take nothing from these half-baked goods. If you keep on bleeding, boy, you got nothing. You got nothing. We're on the road and we're gunning for the Buddha. We know his name and he mustn't get away.